Assalamualaikum everybody, this is Yuga Speaks. My name is Yuka Tasneem. So today I'm going to talk about why pork is haram. So Allah Rabbul Alamin has made certain animals haram for us and certain animals halal for us. Like, why couldn't Allah Rabbul Alamin make everything haram or everything halal? Like, why it has to be like this in a certain way, right? So if Allah Rabbul Alamin, let's assume, had made everything haram, then what would we eat and what would we drink, right? So that cannot be possible. That would have been very absurd. And if Allah Rabbul Alamin had made everything halal, then we would eat a lot of good things with a lot of bad things, right? We would consume a lot of bad. So that would have been really very catastrophic for our body and our mind, for community and society as a whole. Like, people would have been like gone through a lot of harm. So yeah, so Islam and what Allah Rabbul Alamin inspires us to do is to live a balanced life. Like, it cannot be too extreme and you cannot also go too frugal. It has to be somewhere in between. So that's why there are certain things you just don't eat or don't consume, like alcohol, like pork, like dead animals, like snakes and everything. These are all haram. These are all bad for you. So he made certain things halal, which is like certain beverages, certain way of making those beverages, and like animals like cows, goats, sheep, chicken and everything. These are all halal and these are really very good for your body. So then why do so many people consume pork? Like in the West, in many countries, in also Asia, why do people eat pork so much? And it's such a delicacy. It, like, people eat them and they enjoy it so much. It's like a part of many festivals, many cultures and everything. So let's see what different religions say about pork or pigs, right? So Allah Rabbul Alamin in Quran has he said that do not eat pork in 4 surahs, and repetitively he has mentioned certain things that is haram for you and me. So Quran is very precise, and there are a lot of things where Allah Rabbul Alamin has mentioned just once. But when Allah Rabbul Alamin mentions one thing again and again, like 4 times, you and I, we have to take this seriously. So in Surah Baqarah, in Surah Maidah, in Surah Anam, in Surah Nahl, these are the 4 surahs, and each of these surahs contains some verses where Allah Rabbul Alamin has said, look, pork is haram, don't eat it, right? And in Bible, both in Old Testament and New Testament, pork is haram in 3 places: book of Deutronomy, book of Leviticus, and book of Isiah. Okay, so this is like Old Testament and New Testament, meaning Judaism and Christianity. In both of this religion, pork is haram. Now, the most amazing and surprising part is pork is also haram in Hindu scriptures, or according to Hindu scriptures, which is something I didn't know prior to this, and that really took me by surprise, right? So there are 2 scriptures, Manusmiti and, wait, let me check. Okay, Manusmiti and Vishnusutra. So Vishnusutra has made it haram for Brahmins, like has made it haram just only for one nation, one group of people. But Manusmiti not only made it haram, but also constituted a punishment to people who consumes pork. And the punishment is like, whoever consumes pork, cut off their head. And that was like, even Quran or Allah Rabbul Alamin also did not constitute any punishment, but Hindu scripture, the Manusmiti went one step forward and did it, which is in a way amazing, because pork is actually really very bad for you. And this is where it comes, like, why it is so bad, right? So the thing is, like the halal animals that we eat, like cows and the chickens, they really consume good stuff, like the grass, like the feed that the chickens eat. They're really very good, they're really very nutritious, that constitutes or contributes into their bones and into their flesh. And when we eat those bones and flesh, it also is really very good for us, good for our body, right? Pigs would eat anything. It does not say no to anything, literally. Like the whole world is a buffet for pigs. It would eat dead animals, it would eat snakes, rats, poisonous animals, it would eat undead animals, animals that are yet to be dead. So it's like it does not have any sort of criteria like the other animals, very sophisticated animals have. So that's really very dangerous, because when they are eating all these dead carcasses, poisonous snakes and the vermins of the earth, it actually these animals, they contain a lot of toxins which then go into the blood system and the internal system of pigs, and then it gets the flesh and everything gets contributed into that. And yeah, and doesn't matter how much they are processed, how much they're cleaned, how much they're refined, those toxins are still part of the flesh that eventually people eat. So yeah, that's really very bad. Okay, so that was point number one, that why pigs, like we should stay away from pigs and pork and everything. Point number two is pigs are basically scavenger animals. Now the scavenger animals meaning they would dig down earth and find stuff. Okay, much like dogs. Dogs can also be used as scavenger animals to find something beneath the earth and everything beneath the soil. So when pigs are used as scavenger animals, they dig down the earth, and they also would eat animals that stay within the earth. Okay, so again, it does not say no to anything, and the whole world is like literally a buffet to pigs. So that's also really very bad. Look, the animals, the one specialty that why Quran said that these are the animals that are halal for you. Again, I'm repeating this, they have certain criteria. For example, cows would not even eat grasses that are really very unclean. Like it would go away and graze on clean grasses. That's how sophisticated it is. Pigs are not, unfortunately. Okay, so the thing is, pigs would eat a lot. Okay, that's not a problem, because humans also eat a lot, like more than they can hold, right? Pigs would eat a lot, but the point is, it does not have any end. It would continue eating and eating and eating and eating, and guess what? All this consumption eventually turn into species, and then they excrete those species, and guess what? Pigs also feed on that. So basically, indirectly, people who consume pork, please know this, you are indirectly also consuming feces of other animals and of also its own. Why would you do that to yourself? Don't do that. Please don't eat pork. Okay, eat something else. Okay, so again, all the unfiltered dirt, toxins, bacteria gets infused with the flesh, and they can never be cleaned. Their flesh contains worms, different kinds of worms, when consumed, can affect human brain cells, eyesight, and it also can cause blindness. The worms can get into our bloodstream, and pigs are, okay, here is also point number 4. Pigs are mainly made up of cholesterol and fat, like how we consume red meat, white meat, and when we eat them, it actually they are actually protein, so it actually helps us build muscles. But pigs are not like that. That like the amount of protein they have within them is very less. So basically, they're mainly cholesterol and fatty tissues, and when we consume them, it can lead us to extreme gain of wealth and eventually obesity. And no wonder why America has so many problems regarding obesity. Like, I guess America has the highest number of obese cases in the whole world, and it's actually really like a very big problem that they're facing in this era, right? So yeah, don't eat pigs, don't eat pork, like stay away and just have a clean diet. Like clean, like have chicken breast, meat and everything. They're really very good for your body, and it helps to build muscle, especially people who are very health conscious and body conscious. You know, like pig is something that you're gonna consume, and it's not good for you. Okay, Okay, one more thing what pig or pork does when we consume it. Our digestive system is very sophisticated, right? So our internal lining of our stomach, it releases a lot of acids. Okay, so when we consume pork, it actually stays for a very long time in our stomach because our digestive system takes a lot of time to break this down and to digest it eventually. Okay, so doesn't matter how long it stays, those acids keeps releasing, and these acids, they're actually really very good when released in small amounts. What these acids do is whatever food we eat, maybe it contains some sort of bacterial germs or whatsoever, so this acid helps to kill those bacteria and germs and whatever bad particles it contains, and then the food gets cleaned in our stomach, then it gets into our bloodstream, and we get the necessary nutrition from it and everything. Okay, just imagine these acids, when small amount released within your body, it's good, but when released on a continuous period of time, it's actually really very bad, and it can cause ulcer and those acidic stomach problems that people face. I cannot remember the name right now, but yeah, it can really cause stomach issues because the meat, for some reason, our stomach or our digestive system takes a lot of time to consume it. So yeah, it can cause stomach issues. Okay, the last 2 points, and this is very interesting, I didn't know that. The bladder of the pigs, we all have bladder, right? And we all know that the bladder contains urine. The bladder of the pigs are always leaking. That means the urine is always leaking. The thing is, when it's leaking, where is the urine going? Some of it comes out of the body, I guess, but some of it gets infused with the flesh of the pig internally. So again, guys, indirectly, if you are consuming pig, you are also consuming its feces and its urine. Please don't do that to yourself. Okay, and the last point, I heard this somewhere, someone spoke about it and I did not believe it. And then I read a research article. I'll give the link of the research article in the description. Please do check it out. You know how humans share a lot of DNAs, similar DNAs with other animals. So guess what? We also share similar DNA with pigs, and this similarity is 98%. So 98% similarities are there between pigs and human beings, right? So suppose, imagine this, you take after your father or your mother or your certain uncle or aunt or your grandparents, right? When you are genetically that similar with that person, you might talk like them, you might walk like them, you may certain aspects of your body or your face or your outer appearance may look like them, right? And the way you, just as I mentioned, the way you express yourself may also look like them, like the way your father used to talk or your grandparents or your uncle used to talk. If that is how much similarity we have with pigs, just imagine if we have their flesh on a regular basis, what it will do to us. At certain point, you and I will also start like acting pigs. And I'll give the link of the article, and there they have studied it, and it's mentioned there, which is really very scary because we are human beings, right? Allah Rabbul Alamin has styled us in a very dignified way, and from that, if we start behaving like animals, that is not a very good news for us. So yeah, when we are consuming their meat, we are actually also introducing their DNA within our body. When our DNA recognizes this foreign DNA and recognizes that, okay, there are certain similarities, So it starts to adapt and it starts to reorganize themselves like our original DNA. And you will see that okay, one of the things that pigs like to do is they like to see other pigs having sex with their female partners, right? And it's one of their entertainment. There are many people in the West, it can be also in the East and everything, I really don't know, but this is completely based on assumptions, so please, I'm so sorry if I'm offending anyone with my opinions and everything. A lot of times it happens that man likes to see this kind of activities done to their wives, and it's actually not very uncommon in certain aspects of the world. So where do you think that attributes or that quality comes from? How did we gain that? How did it come within our like within our habits? How did we even gain this habit, or where did we learn from? We learned it from animals somehow, by either introducing their DNA within our body or by observing them outwardly or something. And yeah, that happens. So if Allah Rabbul Alamin says something like this is haram, don't go into it, don't consume it, don't do it, just don't. It is for your own good. Okay, so I hope I have somehow managed to explain you why pigs are haram and it's not good for human mind and body and everything. This is a part 1 video. Part 2 is coming tomorrow, inshallah, like where I am going to discuss that if pigs are so much haram, why does it exist, right? So there is a reason behind every animal's existence, and in that video I'll explain that to you guys. Please let me know what you think of this video and share it with other people if you find this useful. Assalamu alaikum. See you in next video.